What's up, guys? I just want to do a quick little video, throwing it up on my YouTube, talking about the part that really matters to me. We've got nationals coming up in a few days. In the case of some countries, we only have 3 weeks left, right? Some people seem to think that because we don't get medals this year, can't make a lot of money, which is fine. Happy to buy your cards. But one of the things that I really like about this year is how good of a job they did. Now, if you keep track of regional prize cards, which have kind of this similar format where it looks really nice, it has a stamp, they're unique, and they're about 1 in 32, those cards sell between $1,000 and $2,000 raw. And they sell pretty easily. Like, I think most of us were able to get rid of them when we needed to for money for $1,000. And if we took our time, we got $2,000. When you think about that prize structure, these are still between, we'll say, $4,000 and $10,000 cards minimum, probably for getting a high placing. Because now there's only 5 that exist in the world. So these will be the rarest cards we've ever had. And what's really cool about it is they're stamped now, right? And Bandai has assured us they've taken care of those back doors, right? So if you look at it, now we have what we call the Bandai, clear way of doing prizing. Where you get a gold card, you get a silver card, you get a bronze card. In the world of One Piece, this has worked really well. People seem to chase the different colors, and then you get a rainbow. That rainbow, of course, became popular with, Metal and Marvel, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I would argue that these could be between 10 and 25,000. The reason why is most papers last year sold for between that amount. The problem is some people unloaded their papers for super cheap. And there's always that possibility. I know there's a few guys who are really nice people. If you guys want, they're willing to sell their medals from last year, I think for like 5,000. Now last year there was 7 more copies, right? Or 7 copies total, right? This year we're only going to have 5. They Zenoed Italy, and then they got rid of China. I mean, not China, but all of Asia, not just China. All of Asia is gone. So we have 2 less nationals. When you factor that in, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm obviously going to go attend. I'm probably excited for these just for like fun things to throw up on Whatnot. It's just cool to see the differences for, the French copies. If the art looks much different, it's wild to me that they still have French, and then, the market, to me just seems so small. I wouldn't think they would spend the effort, but they do because they care and they have a system for it. So that's awesome. What's even cooler is if you look at some of the energy markers, they look so awesome that I could see players getting to play with the energy markers from France, right? Because you can't play with them otherwise. And then same thing with the Brawlies and these Vegetos. This should be interesting to me because these are effectively limit 1s, right? I think these should be worth a fair amount. I'm going to France. I probably won't place. I haven't played in a while. But if I do, I'm not going to let these go for like $4,000 or $5,000. I'm going to hold on to mine. I'm going to see where it lands, right? If somebody offers me 10 or more, probably we'll work out a deal with them, right? Because at that point, it's worth the trip. It's worth your time. And I think that's the part that's hard about it is we as players get kind of confused is that it has to be worth your time, but it can't be worth too much time. And I think that's the important thing to keep away is that, hey, if you get offered, let's say $1,500 for your bronze and that's enough money for you, sure, take it. Because at the end of the day, it's still $1,500 for playing a card game and you get all the memories, you get your cool trophy cards. And so the prices are just kind of made up. That's the reality of it that I remind people is that we don't know what these prices are going to be until we see people start buying them up. But it's not the people who buy them up that tells us the price. It's who the rebuyers are. I think, you see some big names. 2 years ago, they bought up golds at $25,000. Well, then they resold for the golds for as low as $15,000, like 3 or 4 weeks later, because they weren't noticing people had a lot of drive for it. There wasn't as much excitement. So then that became the price point for most golds, between $10,000 and $15,000 for that year. But the papers kept going down and down for that year. Whereas other years, like 2019, they've done really well. They've consistently been expensive. One of the things I'm really excited about this is just seeing how Dayama impacts this, right? We're seeing more people enter the market. We're seeing more stores want to sell this product. But we're not seeing a ton of focus for events because there's so much Dragon Ball product. So we have to figure out as players and as collectors how you get attention on it. I know we're going to be figuring out our own ways of doing that and changing our entire content for 2024 and 2025. But we'll talk about that later. But I will say my quick little rants and just focusing on the positives and little information, they're going to be here now on YouTube. They won't be on Instagram, but I will include a link every time I post one and just try and focus on the fun and the pretty art for my Instagram. So see you guys later. Follow, like, and subscribe.